The other quarterback who was injured on Sunday, Teddy Bridgewater, took a hit late in the first half, less than a minute to play, suffered a concussion. Drew Lock came in and finished the game, and we know the drill by now. It's been over 10 years. The concussion, once it's diagnosed, the player doesn't return until he's had the appropriate medical clearances, both his own team doctors and an independent, unaffiliated neurologist who has to decide that it's okay for the player to return. There were some Broncos beat writers that weren't happy with that hit. Looked a little helmet to helmet, maybe. We've seen far less get flagged this year, including one yesterday by Chase Young on Matt Ryan that I still don't know how in the hell that was roughing the passer. So it could have been called, but it doesn't matter. You still have lost Teddy Bridgewater to a concussion. And, Mike, when they first put in those protocols, there was almost a loose presumption that you would miss a game. We see guys come back all the time 1 week later now after suffering a concussion. So we just have to wait and see what kind of symptoms he has, when is he cleared, and will he be good to go next week. But Drew Lock had his chance to turn some heads, and he wasn't good enough that people are going to be clamoring for Drew Lock in Denver this week.
No, they're not. And listen, I get it with the hits to the head. I've spoken a lot about that. That Chase Young was – I don't know what the hell was going on with that one. This one, I honestly did not think it was a bad hit. What I took away from that hit is I loved the moxie, in all honesty, of Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater knew he was going to get hit. And what made that hit even harder on him was the fact that he had to step into that throw. I mean, he stepped right hard into that throw. He knew where he was going to get hit. He knew what was going to happen. And he's a guy that I like at least stepping into throws, or I've seen him do that in the past and take hits, step into throws. He'll stay in the pocket and he'll take the hits there. But I wasn't looking too much at that hit to say I wanted to see a flag. I know it's been called for a lot less. I get it. But, it was a tough one there, but you're right. Drew Lock, maybe like Trey Lance, Drew Lock was the starter last year, but now you get the opportunity. Everybody's one play away from having their chance to get on the field. So, we'll see if Drew Lock can find his way to get back on the field again. I thought real quick, interesting in that game, did you have a problem with the Baltimore Ravens at the end of that game trying to get those extra 3 yards to get 100 yards rushing for the 43rd consecutive game? For people that don't know, there were 3 seconds left in the game, and Baltimore had 97 yards rushing. And they were trying for their 43rd straight 100-yard rushing game, which would have tied, I think, the 74-77 Pittsburgh Steelers as far as consecutive 100-yard games. They could have taken a knee and won the game. It would have been over. But Lamar takes a snap and he runs left like a quarterback power sweep left and gains 5 yards. I personally had zero problem with it. Zero problem knowing you had that consecutive streak going. It's been decades ago when it happened, and for them to keep it going. And if I didn't hear anybody from Denver, at least initially, say they had a problem, because my answer would have been, then stop them. Don't let them get the 3 yards if that's what they're trying to do. But I had no issue with Baltimore trying to do that.
43 straight games with 100 or more rushing yards. That ties a record that was set in the 74-77 time frame with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, John Harbaugh said after the game it was 100% his call, and it's also a record. Apparently, I was looking at an article on ESPN.com that the first time in a long time, if not ever, that a team winning by 10 or more points with less than 5 seconds to play decided to actually gain yardage or try to gain yardage, because usually you're taking a knee and you're getting off the field. My only problem would have been with it is if you get Lamar Jackson injured, then you have incurred an injury in a meaningless setting. And, hey, the Baltimore Ravens now can have their preseason winning streak non-trophy here, their regular season 100 yards or more rushing trophy there. Neither of those trophies matter, though. That's the problem I have with it. And if you're putting your quarterback at risk, he didn't get injured, but if he had, oh my God, John Harbaugh would have had hell to pay, Mike.
you know, that you're 100% right, and it's something, I'll be honest, maybe this is the former player in me, never even thought about. That's why I would imagine if you polled every one of those offensive players, say, hey, we can run and try and get 3 yards here, or we can take a knee and try not to get anybody hurt. I say every one of them would have said, let's get 3 more yards. I mean, what history that is to do it. Now, again, you're right, running Lamar Jackson with the ball. Maybe you would have been better off handing it off and just keeping him in the backfield, not getting hit. So maybe that was an interesting call. Also, maybe, remember, they ran it to the short side. They ran it left. Maybe Harbaugh said, listen, if it's not there, if they got a lot of players there, just run out of bounds and be done. If we don't get it, we don't get it. I don't know what the conversation was, but I get what you're saying. But I can almost guarantee every player on that team wanted to keep that streak going.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.